right now what's going on in Iran, there were some sort of reports. Axios reported that there were some explosions in the southern part of Iran. Then it said the IRIB, the Iranian state media, came out and said, that in Sirik and those in the southern part of Iran, basically in let me just in Bandar Abbas, Qeshm, Sirik, and Jask, there was no explosions, and which are the basic targets, the common targets of the United States. Whenever they attack, they're gonna hit these cities or these areas. Then, but there was an attack in Konarak. Konarak is located in Sistan and Baluchistan, in the Baluchi, in that part of Iran, in the south. Yeah, and you know that area, close to the Pakistani border. So
Right.
it was confirmed by the governor of Konarak and that city. Then it was reported in the from the Arab media. They claimed that the United States said we're not attacking Iran. By the way, they said nothing is happening. The United States is not attacking Iran, but the Arab media reported that Kuwait and Bahrain, they attacked Iran moments ago. This was reported so far. There was a terrorist attack in Mashhad. Right now, there was a funeral in Mashhad, and one of these terrorists used the Basiji, uniform, and he tried to infiltrate, and they became suspicious of him. So they tried to, communicate with him. Then he fired on two of these Basiji at one of the checkpoints in the southern part of Mashhad, and so he killed two of the Basiji forces in Mashhad. And this is so far there is no attack from the United States. It seems that if the reports is somehow correct or right, it was an attack on the part of Kuwait and Bahrain. I don't know what is the capabilities of these two countries to attack Iran, and if Iran would respond to that. This is so far. And looking at what has happened, Larry, between Iran and the United States, it seems the two sides, Iran right now, the funeral is done, and they're gonna get back to the somehow normality, and the situation gonna get normal in Iran. And because they had the funeral in Iraq, then today in Mashhad, it was somehow chaotic for them to fight back. But how do you see the situation between Iran and the United States? Donald Trump is talking about weeks of war to come.
But the United States is not set for not right now. When my understanding is the last one to actually, exchange to launch attacks was the United States. Is that correct?
No, the last one, it was Iran to attack. The United States last night attacked Iran, and then Iran till this morning they were attacking the Jordan. The last attacks were on Jordan and one of the U.S. air bases in Jordan.
And so far the United States has not retaliated for those,
No,
correct?
they didn't respond so far.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what we're waiting to see. The reality, to help everyone who's listening or watching, U.S. military operations don't take place in a vacuum. They take place in the context of a bureaucracy. So in the case of Central Command, when they're operating at full operations tempo, they're going to have they have a task force. They call them CAT teams, Crisis Action Team, and so they sit there's an operations center, actually a couple at CENTCOM, but there's one main operations center where in this case the admiral can come sit in a chair and see all the television screens, multiple screens showing where different units are based, giving updates about what actions are being taken place, what actions are planned. Planned actions will require some sort of support, usually both in terms of fuel and other assets. So whenever you have a CAT team, that's operating 24/7, you know there are going to be operations. I'm told by two different sources that the CAT teams are not operating 24/7. They're back to operating on the regular weekly schedule, 8 to 5, and they're not staying overtime. And so whenever you get that type of situation, you're like these reactions that have taken place in the last couple of days were not really part of, I wouldn't call it a major military operation, somewhat constrained. And if you look at the uh, Strait of Hormuz right now, there really are no ships going through along the Omani side. There are still 4 or 5 ships transiting on the Iranian side. So it looks like now the United States is going to stand down, at least for now. We'll find out within the next couple of hours, because right now it is 6:10 p.m. East Coast time. So that means it's roughly 02:40 in the morning. It's almost 2:40 a.m. In Iran. So, you got another 3 hours, 4 hours of darkness that the U.S. could choose to start retaliating now.
Yeah. Larry, do you think that we had the comments on the part of Donald Trump and IRGC? Both sides are talking about the MOU is not working anymore. Is not. What is your understanding of the state of MOU? And nothing is that, nothing is working. Each and every paragraph was violated so far.
Yeah, well, it's been violated by the United States. And so far, we've not seen Iran take the public step of repudiating it. They've, some, like you said, the IRGC said, well, it's no longer in effect. But until we hear Arachi or Ghalibaf say that, I think it's still, Iran, it still looks like it's abiding by it.
Abiding by because of the Strait of Hormuz? They said the strait is not closed.
Right. So, they're all ships that fill out the paperwork and are approved, they're being allowed to go through. So let's see, there's a fishing vessel heading through right now. There's a landing craft. I don't know what that's all about. You've got a chemical oils products tanker has just come in, and it's headed for Iraq, for the port of Kaz. A ship called the Faraj 3. It's a general cargo ship. It's heading out. It's headed to Oman. So you got a little bit of activity, not a lot.
Yeah. Do you think that the United States is gonna restart the blockade on Iran?
Yeah, I do. I think they will. Now, they will in name only. Doesn't necessarily mean they actually have the ships to pull it off, but they'll say it in name only. Sorry, I was just looking. There's another tanker, a heavy load carrier headed for China. Tianjin, China. So, it's quieted, the activity actually is quieted down, and it has not prevented Iran from, keeping control of the vessels that want to go through the Strait of Hormuz.
Last night, Iran exported more than 10 million barrels overnight. And because they thought that, the blockade may happen and they have to do something about it. It wasn't reported in the Iranian media. Tanker trackers reported that it was the activity in the Strait of Hormuz. And let's assume this, Larry. The MOU is not there. Today, CNN reported that Pakistan and Qatar is trying to bring the two sides together. What? There has to be something to build on. There is no foundation. There is nothing there to build on. What do they want
Yeah,
to?
I agree. Yeah, they're just, Pakistan's wedded to trying to get a political solution and get the credit for it. But it's up to Iran. You have to pay attention to, and Qom were chanting, what the crowds in Marshad were chanting. They're calling for revenge, and they're carrying the red flag. And so that means that it looks like a good majority of the population is um, wanting the government to take stronger action.
It seems Donald Trump, it was somehow scared of what's maybe Iran would attack him. He, instead of using his airplane, he used an alternative airplane and went to Europe instead of getting back to the United States.
Right. Well,
So
I think they have not fully vetted that the Qatari gift. They want to make sure that they haven't put listening devices on board and other things. So they thoroughly, screen, cleared out before they let the president on it.
yeah. Larry, here is what J.D. Vance said about the situation between Iran and the United States.
Troops, we came into the situation with maximum leverage and maximum strength. Their nuclear program was destroyed. Their conventional military was destroyed. And you've got some people within the Iranian system who are saying, you know what? We want to change our relationship with the United States. We want to turn over a new leaf. And the president said, okay, we will sit down at the table and negotiate and see if the smart people in that system can take over from the crazy people. Well, here's the basic deal that we cut. The basic deal that we cut was, we'll lift our blockade if you stop shooting at ships. But if you shoot at ships, we are going to punch back, and we're going to punch back harder than ever before. That was the deal. They said they would stop shooting at ships, and what happened 24 hours ago? They started shooting at ships again. Now, they were good. They were well behaved for about a week, but then they started shooting at ships. So the deal is very simple. If they shoot at ships, we're going to knock the hell out of them, and it's that simple, and that's the basic way it's going to work.
Yep. Bad, no, all talk, little action. They haven't knocked the hell out of Iran. In fact, Iran's turning around, knocking the hell out of them. Particularly the targets hitting the bases in Jordan, the Muwafaq al-Salti air base in particular. Control center, which certainly caused some casualties. So this is just political theater right now.
You said caused casualties in Jordan?
Yeah,
We had no report on that.
well, I'm not going to report that.
Yeah.
But what was reported struck the control center. There are personnel in that, so I'm assuming at least somebody wounded. Or any KIA, but there's certainly people wounded.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with your mic because your voice is somehow cutting off when you talk.
Hang on here. Let's see. Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
The defaulted to the MacBook Pro mic, not the power beats. So we got the power
Yeah.
beats going. The power is with us.
Yeah. Larry, two things about what JD Vance said. First of all, they're assuming that there are two forces in Iran fighting each other or hating each other. One side wants to make a deal with the United States. The other one, I don't know where do they get this sort of understanding from Iran.
Well, you got to admit, there was a low turnout for the funeral. They only got like 45 million people, okay? So that means another 50% stayed home. Never, as I said, yesterday and the day before, and it gets bigger every day. You've never had a funeral event like this in recorded history where 45 million people came out in public in a mass to mourn and to to worship, if you will, to engage in a religious ceremony. 45 million. That sort of puts to bed this claim that 80% of the Iranian population wanted to overthrow the Islamic Republic. That would be the equivalent of 72 million. So we got 45 million people out. Those are big. That's a big number.
I think it means that 50% of Iranian people are against the government, and Donald Trump needs to go there and to liberate them.
Yeah.
The liberation should go.
Or it could mean that the other 50% didn't live near any of those cities and were unable to travel to be part of it. And that could be the explanation too.
Actually, last night they hit one of the bridges between Tehran and Mashhad,
Mashhad,
in order to make some sort of disruption in the communication or in the way that the people are getting from Tehran to Mashhad or from other cities in between Tehran and Mashhad, because there are various cities, a lot of cities between Tehran and Mashhad. They're going to get the same route to get to Mashhad. So they hit that target. They hit that bridge. The other point that was important, it was somehow confusing for me that they hit a bridge in Al-Qala in Golestan, in the northern
which is
part
way
of Iran.
way out west, correct?
Exactly. Is to the northeast, not the west. In northeast, close to Turkmenistan, and they hit that. That bridge is important because the railway that it goes above that bridge, on that bridge, connects Iran to China, from Iran to Kazakhstan, then to China. And from the photo, I just watched the photo last night. It didn't seem to me that this is some sort of missile, or here is the photo, Larry. You see that? It doesn't seem to me that it was somehow a cruise missile or something like that.
It looks like it was a charge put on the track and blown up.
Yeah. There could be something internal. They use some of these agents in Iran to blow out, to somehow explode.
Like
MEK? Yeah. Exactly. They have these agents in Iran. But to understand what the second part of what JD Vance said, here is, Larry, let me put it on for you.
Now, the president maintains a lot of options. I'm obviously not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen tonight, but the president has said to them very simply, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open. That means oil and gas is going to flow to the American people. That's why we see gas prices starting to come down. That's why we see the oil prices so low, is because the president said that crucial artery through which we ship a lot of the world's energy, that artery has got to remain open. And that is what the Iranians have to know. If they try to close it down, there's going to be a response for the American military. It's that simple. That's the deal. They can either follow it or they can have exactly what happened to them last night. It's just going to keep on happening until they open up that lane and stop shooting at ships. It's simple.
He didn't know what he's talking about. Number one, for gasoline prices in the United States, that has nothing to do with the oil that comes out of the Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf oil is sour crude. It's a middle grade sour crude, but it's sour crude. That sour crude is delivered to refineries in the United States that make diesel and aviation fuel. They do not make gasoline. The U.S. Exploits and pumps a lot of, the sweet crude, the light crude, that is used to make gasoline. 70% of the refineries, some say 60%, but 60 to 70, let's go 65% of the refineries in the United States are specifically built to deal with the sour crude, with the crude that comes out of the Persian Gulf. If they don't have that crude, they don't operate. The gasoline that produced for automobiles, that's produced by separate refineries. There is no shortage of that oil. So let's, he hasn't been properly briefed that he knows what he's talking about.